Hey everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back. In this video, I am playing around with a brand new little collection from Pinkfresh Studio that was just released. How beautiful is this collection? It's called Handpick Flowers. In front of me, I have the stamp set, which is amazing. I am really drawn to this. You are so great. I am loving it. So we're going to have some fun with these little florals today. We also have the coordinating stencils, which is so fun because it makes coloring so simple, quick, and easy. And it just looks so beautiful. And then we have the coordinating die to get this all cut out. So I am going to grab a piece of paper and we are going to get the Misty out. We're going to start by stamping out our image and then we are going to play around with some stenciling. So let's go ahead and get started with that and then we will just have fun really building this card. I think I have a fun idea, but we'll see where this takes us. Okay, bringing in a piece of 80-pound cardstock, and I just have my mini Misty here. Bring that right into that bottom corner. And let's open up this pretty stamp set. Now on the back, you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like, but you can choose your own colors, or if you really like this example, you can do this look right here. But I like to just keep this off to the side just so that as I am working through my stencils, I have an idea of how it's all supposed to come together. I find that to be really, really helpful. So I'm going to set that to the side and I am simply going to grab my stamp and gently pull the backing away from the stamp. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to end up cutting this out. So what I'm going to do is just place it so that I have enough room for my coordinating die to do its work later. But let's go ahead and close the Misty. There we go. Now, I just took this out of the packaging for the first time, so I'm just going to prime this stamp and try my best to just remove some of that coating. It just helps that first stamp be really nice. But I am going to end up stamping this, stenciling it, and then stamping it once more. So let's make sure that that is tucked really nice in the corner. Let's grab our ink. I am simply going to use a Memento ink. Look how fine that is. Isn't that pretty? I love how just fine, intricate, and detailed Pinkfresh Studio's whole vibe is. So pretty. So me. Okay, there is our first layer. Let's see how that does. Press that down. Pretty good. I have to bring my pressure tool in. Okay, that looks pretty good because again, I said we're going to come back and restamp it. So this is kind of giving us a really nice little template to work on to help line up our stamp or our stencil. Okay, I'm going to clean this off. Now, I am going to leave my stamp in my Misty, not move it, because later we're going to put this paper right back into position and do a final stamp. So I'm going to leave it right there and we're going to start stenciling. Okay, I'm going to bring in some mint tape here. Get this all positioned where I would like it. Let's bring this up just a little bit. That looks good. Let's see. I'm actually going to... Nope, that was right. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, and we'll just tape this down. Okay, stencil time. I love doing stencils. It's one of those things that I have quickly fallen for. It's relaxing, it's easy, and it always turns out so pretty. Okay, so we should have these numbered. Okay, it's a little hard for you to see, but in person you'll be able to see it. But on each stencil, oh, let's see here. You should see, let me get the angle. You'll see it says stencil 1. And yes, a little hard for you to see. See that right there? But you will have your stencils all numbered. Now let me see which way my stamp goes. That way I can lay this down really nicely. Oh my goodness, it took me a while to figure out where I needed to go with that, but here we are. Okay, so let's start here. I'm gonna line that up really nice. I just had to keep twisting and turning to see which way. Okay, line that up just so, and tape it down. So tape and tape. Okay, for this first color, I think I'm going to bring in pink. Okay, so let's bring in, should I bring this here? That might be a little bit better. Let's bring in Coral Reef. I think that'll be a good first color. Okay, I am going to bring in a little piece of paper to tap off on. Although this one's not too vibrant right away. I want to go light with this. So I'm going to just go through and add my color down on my first stencil. And just getting the tone I want. So I'm just going to start light until I get the color that I'm looking for. You can always add more, but you can't take away. So start light and then bump it up as you want. Okay, I think I'm getting the tone that I would like. And a little bit darker because it dries back a little lighter. So that should be just about where I'd like that. And I'm hoping to bring in kind of a mint color a little bit later with some paper. We'll see. I have an idea in my head, but you just never know where a card is going to take you. Sometimes you just take a left turn because, I don't know, you just change your mind, and that is just one of the funnest things about creating in general, really, right? Especially with card making. Okay, I really like how that is looking, and these inks are so pretty. They dry so pretty. I think that's good. Okay, now I'm going to remove that stencil. I have stencil 2 on hand. Let's remove this one. I'm going to wipe it down and let it dry. Oh, look, isn't that pretty? I love it. I love it, love it. In fact, I'm going to also, I'm just going to tape this down as well. Okay. Okay, stencil number 2. Now I would like to bring in some orange. And you line that up just so. That looks really nice. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, let's bring a little tape here and here. Okay, let's do Peach Fuzz. I really like these colors together, Coral Reef and Peach Fuzz. So let me grab my orange brush. Okay. Now this is a very bold color, so I tap that off quite a bit and then bring that on in. I want to go in pretty light with that. Whoops, tapped right on my pink cap there. Okay, again, always have the opportunity to bump up the color. And I always say it, but I'll repeat it in case this is the first time you're hearing it. You will get used to the colors that you tend to work with, and you will know as you just gain experience with blending with them which colors come in really bold right away and which colors take quite a bit of layering to get the color that you desire, or the true color. Okay, I like that. That looks pretty good. And done. Okay, so let's put that cap back on. Remove our stencil. Ooh, pretty. Okay, let me clean off this stencil and we'll move on to stencil 3. Okay, stencil 3 has it lined up just like that. It took me a few rotations to figure it out. It's just a fun little game of spin the stencil. Okay, looks like we're going to do a darker orange for this. I think I will bring in apricot. Let's try that. And this is kind of going to be the little accent pieces on those little areas. Okay. might just take a quick, oh my goodness, I keep tapping the, oh, more coffee. I only had half of my coffee today. Now it's nap time, and I took the opportunity for a little bit of crafting. Okay, and then we have these little metal pieces here, right? Is that right? Well, that's where the openings are. I think, though, I also will probably put some little gems on those little flower centers. So I'm not overly concerned about that color, but I want to do a well job because you never know if you're going to decide to do something a little different later, right? Okay, I think that looks good. Hopefully we have enough contrast there. All we need is subtle contrast, at least for the look that I like to go for. But, oh yes, that looks so nice. It's subtle, but it's there. I love that. Okay, apricot and peach fuzz. Perfect. Let me clean this off. Okay, very nice. There. Now I'll bring in the next tone for coral reef, and that is passion fruit. This is my favorite combination. This right here. Coral reef, passion fruit, peach fuzz, and apricot. It's an easy one every time. It always looks good. Okay. Now passion fruit is one of the bold colors. Well, I mean, and that's all subjective, right? But to me, I find it to be a little bit more bold for my color palette. I love it, but I just know tap off a little bit. That way I can get the tone that I want. There we go. Way too pretty. Let me know. Let's do a question of the day. Let me know what technique that you enjoy the most with card making. Is it, or maybe not even technique, but just what process do you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy stenciling? Do you enjoy heat embossing? That's always, that's so gratifying, right? It's so gratifying. What other things? Do you enjoy just simple stamping? Do you enjoy coloring with alcohol markers or colored pencils? I want to know what your favorite or your go-to is. There's always so many fun things to do. Look at this. My goodness. See, and you know, I wouldn't be able to do as well. Eventually I will with my alcohol markers. And I'm not saying I can't replicate that well, but it would take me so much more time, and that's just the truth of it. Okay, so I also think the tap-off paper is so pretty at the end of the whole card. All right, let's do, there we go. Just about there. Okay, really like that. I think that's lined up good. And the thing about stencils is, you know, if it's not lined up perfectly, it is fine. It's fine. It just adds to the artisticness of it. I always used to stress about, you know, getting everything just so, but in the end, it's so pretty. Okay, I think I'm gonna bring in Mint and Meadow here for my next couple colors. And I think, yep, we have 2 stencils left, so that should be the last of our color combos. Okay. Let's do mint. I'm going to turn this around. Pretty. Okay, here we go. Okay, there is our mint. I think that's really nice. Let's peel that stencil up. Ooh, pretty. Okay, now I'm trying to decide if I want to go with Meadow or if I just want to go a little bit more bold with the mint for the next one. I'm going to test on the little tap off paper and see what I want to do. So let's get this into position first. Looks like we're going to be just about right there. And let's see Meadow. Oh, it's still, yeah, that's perfect. Which is why they coordinated their colors the way they did. They did such a great job. That's another great thing about their inks is that they have them just coordinated so well, so it's just easy to know if you want a little bit darker, which color you'll turn to next. Okay, last little bit. And the final reveal. I think those look really nice. Oh my goodness, isn't that nice? Now, did I have a little stencil here anywhere? I feel like these little guys, maybe I missed them. They look a little light, and I may have just missed. Is it this one? Did I do it the wrong way? Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can. No. Yeah, I did. You see? I just got a little light. So I'm going to bring that peach fuzz back in. In fact, I'm just going to do this. And I'm not even going to worry about taping it down. Just lightly blend some on. Okay. There we go. I knew something was looking a little off there. Okay. There is our final little look. Isn't that super pretty? So there is what we have to work with today. So I think I'm going to put it right back into my Misty really quick. I want to do an additional stamp just to really get a bold look. I've seen Heather and Leah from Pinkfresh Studio do this, and it's something that's so simple, but makes such a difference. So I'm going to try it. I love trying new things. So let me put these away, grab my Misty once more, bring it back in here, and again, reposition it exactly where it was. Also making sure, yes, okay, never know. Always want to double check. Okay, because I am a nervous Irvis, double check that again. All right, bringing in one final layer of ink. Okay. And stamp that down. Wow, that looks so neat. It just added just a tad more. Super impressed. Love it. Okay, that is so fun. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now let's go ahead. I'm going to clean this stamp off because we are completely done at this point with the stamp. And I'm going to grab my coordinating die and let's cut this out. And then we're going to play around with some additional color with our background. Let's see here. Looks to be right about there. I need some new tape. And let's get that lined up. My goodness. This is going to be so pretty. And it always is such a, I don't know, when it cuts out, it's just a whole nother level of prettiness. Okay, I think right there is good. Tape that down and run it through my die cut machine. Okay, go ahead and just pop that out. Just like this. And it has a couple middles that we'll just grab with a little pokey tool. There we go. Oh goodness, that is so pretty. Okay, let me grab my little pokey tool because we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get those out. Isn't that gorgeous? That is super, super fun. All right, let's do, I want to bring in like a, well, that is a mint, but I want to bring in kind of like a teal turquoise, kind of like this tape. And I want to play around with some additional color in the background. So what I was thinking is I'm grabbing this paper pad from Pinkfresh Studio, and what is the name of this? I'll link it down below. Is it Happy Heart? It might be Happy Heart. I saw in here a really nice, I'm wondering if I can use it. Let's find it. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of out of focus there. It's this. Okay, I think this would be super pretty, super soft. So what I want to do is I want to bring in this die. This is called Simply Hexagons. This is what it's going to look like. Isn't that pretty? And I'm hoping that I can get enough without getting that yellow on the side. So let's see what we can do here. Pull this out. It's a well-loved paper pad. It's just all in pieces at this point. I love it. And let's see if we can't. Oh yeah, I think we can. Line that up. Hopefully so. Can't remember if I have this paper pad. I might have this in 12 by 12, but let's see if we can't do the 6 by 6 first. Okay, bringing in this other little die. I want to reuse this tape. This should work, but we'll see. Okay. All right, let's cut this out and see where we're at. Okay. I think we're good. Now let's just see if we got it without, oh yeah, without the yellow. Without the yellow border. I think it cut out. Ooh, and you could keep these little hexagons. Ooh, that could be fun to do something with. Okay. And see if I can gently get the rest of it. Even this side would be really cool with all of the pattern. Ugh, so fun. I have enough color here, but I want to remember that for another card. Isn't that pretty? I think that's really fun. Okay, I'm going to save my little hexagons off to the side. I can do something different with those. Let's see. I might need to get my little X-Acto knife. Oh, we got it. All right, there is, oh, isn't that pretty? Now, if I put it on some white, you'll see that pretty little contrast. Isn't that nice? And then I'm thinking about doing something like this. Okay, so what I want to do is take this hexagon die one more time. I'm going to grab a couple sheets of 120 pound cardstock. Let's see if I can fit a couple of these on there. And I'm going to trim out 2 more layers. Okay, so I actually have one out of 110, 120, and then I have my colored piece here. I think that will be plenty actually. And what I'll do now is grab some glue. I'm just going to grab this Barely Art glue, and I'm going to glue all of these pieces together just a little bit. Here we go. And get these all layered one on top of another. Okay. Just line this up and squeeze it into position. And there we go. It does such a good job. Okay. Now I'm going to put a block right on top of here. A couple really. Let that sit while I glue this next piece. And finally, the last layer. All right, that looks really good, and that glue will just dry if it's seeping out, no problem. Okay. Here we go. Grab a brick, and we'll just give it a second. Okay, so because I don't listen to myself, I went ahead and put those little pieces in the garbage. And you know what I was thinking is that it would be really cool to And I don't have any more of this paper, but I kind of want to do a tone on tone look with this backdrop. So I have a solution. Just go with me on this. What I'm going to do is, because I want to kind of piece these pieces back in, sometimes it's really hard to piece things back in when they are really thick like that. So I'm going to get just one more layer. Just go with me on this. I think it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna get one more layer. I'm gonna place this down on a piece of 80-pound cardstock, and I'm gonna paper piece it in here, and then I will glue my little stacked hexagons on top. It's gonna work out, and I think it's gonna look good. And the pieces that I'm missing are gonna be covered up with floral flowers anyway, to the best that I can, which was kind of the original plan. So we'll make it work. Nothing like running through the trash to find paper. But I got, let's see, I think I counted there were 16 or 17 openings. I think I got 14 out of 17 or something like that. I'm missing 3, and you know, that's not too bad. Okay, let me place this down. This is going to be my little template. And it's okay if this gets all gluey because it's all going to be covered with paper. Okay, there we go. Okay, I like that. Now what I can do is I can go through and just place and piece all of my little papers in. Let's move some of this stuff so we don't get too confused. So it's so much easier when you can paper piece just one layer. Ooh, in fact, it might be pretty. See, it might even be pretty with this kind of like the hexagon outline being white. That might just be the contrast that we need. We can decide. We can decide in just a bit. Okay, I think I had these. Let me go ahead and continue piecing all of these pieces in. Oh, that's pretty though. Isn't that pretty? I think we have something here. Happy accidents. Okay, so here is where we are at. I'm going to bring in, see, oh, that's really neat too. But I was thinking of going tone on tone. And don't worry about the openings here. Oh, see, I don't know. Both are so good. I think I'm gonna go with my original and do a tone on tone. Now I wanna see, I think this is gonna need to go here. If I put this here, I think I can hide the rest of my openings with this little floral piece, because I want to do something like, let's see, how did I want it? I think like, oh, you know what I was gonna do? Hold on, I'm talking to myself. Allow me this moment, just a second. I was going to do something like that, and then I'm going to slice. Yes, okay, let's do that. Glue this little piece in. I know we're going to cut this little bloom in half, but it's going to be so pretty. So we're just going to kind of frame this card out. Okay, now I think we can decide this in a moment. Oh, that's just too pretty though. To decide, I'm going to grab a pencil. I want to decide where I like this. I like this here. I think that looks good. There. Okay, so if I turn this over, I can just put a little line there, and then we know where to cut this apart. Bring in our paper trimmer, line that up, and trim. Okay, now let's play. We had, is it that? Yes. And then, oh, we had that, pardon me. And then we have something like that, which is super pretty. Or even bringing it down a little bit and allowing some space up top. Ooh, I really like this. I'm actually kind of liking it with the white. Let's look though with our tone on tone look. It's so hard to decide, and you know it's a good fun design when it's hard to decide. But which one should we do? And that white would be covered. Oh, I wonder if I could I just flip this over and use that back side? I might need to put one on the back just to, I think that's it, especially with the dimension there. Okay, I'm gonna cut out one more piece. I know we've cut out 300 pieces of this, but see how this back side is a little bit harsher? I'm just gonna put a, I'm gonna do right side up on the back side. Does that even make sense? Right side up on the back side. You'll see in a second. That way it'll just be a nice smooth cut, but I don't wanna waste all that paper. We're gonna make it work. Okay, when you know, you know. And I think, you know, sometimes just laying it all out and giving yourself all the options. It allows you two things. Obviously, it allows you to visually see what it's going to look like, but at the same time, it allows you to peacefully be happy with your card in the end because you know you've seen all your options. So that's kind of where I'm at with creating. Just giving myself the grace of choice, because this did go in a not completely different direction. That's a little bit dramatic, but it definitely went in its own unique direction. Okay, so I'll just place this here to kind of mend that cut side. Ooh, and see how it's nice and buttery smooth. You might not see that on camera, but trust me, it looks really good. Okay, let's get this all glued down and on the card. Okay, let's do a nice mend on that side, and we didn't waste any paper. We were able to use everything we had. All right, let's start building this card up. Let's do a top folding card. I have a piece of paper at 11 by 4 1/4, and we're going to score that at 5 1/2, and then have a top folding A2 size card. Okay, opening this up. I have glue on the back of here. It's the right direction, and line that up. Now I'm going to turn this over and just make sure, oh, that was great. Okay, make sure that was all lined up where I needed it to be, and then I'll add this pretty piece. That. Whoops, oh goodness. Ooh, I got a little goober there, but I think that's where we're going. We might be covering that up with a floral, and if not, it's still gonna be okay. It's still gonna be beautiful. Okay, pressing that down. Oh goodness, that is exactly what I didn't know I wanted. Isn't that so fun? I love it. Okay, now I think I want to add just a little bit more. Do I want to add more dimension? Let me see. I don't think it needs it. I really don't. So I'm going to trim that off too, I think. I'm going to add some glue to the back here. Wherever, I'm just going to place it all over. Wherever it comes into contact with paper, it will stick. Wherever it doesn't, it will dry. We will be good to go. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to trim off that little piece, I don't want to shift it up anymore. Pretty. Okay, there we go. Very nice. And I'm going to just set this here for just a bit because I want to decide on my sentiment. I'm thinking this "You Are Great" would be super pretty, even in black. Let me see what... Let's see. I like "You Are Great." I think that is just super pretty. So let's do that. Okay, I will add this over here. Okay. Just like that. Ooh, I love it. So pretty. Okay, and then while I'm thinking of it, let's turn this Just gonna grab this little piece and go. Perfect. You know, you don't even really notice that that little tip is cut off either. Okay, there we are so far. Let's do our sentiment and wrap this up. Okay, I have a tiny scrap piece that I'm going to use for my sentiment. I think I'll do it in the black. I think that'll be really nice. Could also do it in a gold, which would be super pretty too, but I'm gonna do black today. Really liking that look. Oh, I forgot to condition the stamp, but if we need to redo it, we can do so. Pass that down. Actually, one and done. We are good to go. Okay, I'm gonna trim this out with the little coordinating die. That goes over there, and let's just pull that out. Okay, all taped, ready to cut. Okay, so I cut that out, and then I also went ahead and stacked 2 additional layers underneath, so we have a nice thick sentiment there. Okay, and I think I'm going to allow that little movement and have it go just like that. I think that'd be nice. You can kind of play around with other little spots, but for me, I feel like this is a great little spot to have it. Okay, I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, I just added some simple liquid glue to the back there, and let's do this. Okay, there we go. Ooh, really pretty. Okay, back in with my favorite little dewdrop embellishments. I'm just going to add those right to the little insides of these hexagons, just where I think we could use just a little something more, and add 2 down here. I think that's super fun. And done. Okay, so there is our final card. I hear time and time and time again in the comments that you really like the real-time thought process, and you want me to include just about everything that I am going through when making a card, so this definitely delivered on that. I love how this turned out. I love that it went into a complete different direction than I thought, and I think it turned out really pretty. I love the color in the background. Very subtle, but there, and I think it's just so pretty. So be sure to give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and also be sure to check down in that description box. I'll link everything that I used to bring this together. As always, be sure to head on over to Pinkfresh Studio, check out all of the goodies that they just released. Everything's so beautiful, and I can't wait to continue crafting with you in the next video. Don't forget to pop down into the comments and let me know the question of the day. Give me your answer. All right, see you later.